Today we're going to start a discussion around some things that we would like to see from a future firmware update for the Sigma FP. Now, in case you missed it, last month during Cine Gear, Sigma held an open forum at their headquarters, and Mr. Yamaki, their CEO, answered a ton of questions from people in the crowd, as well as they broadcast that open forum on Instagram, and a bunch of people asked questions there, which I was one of those people that asked questions on Instagram, and couldn't pass up the opportunity to ask about a future firmware update for the FP line.
From at Anson & Co., he said, can we expect new firmware for the FP line?
Oh, interesting. So you're hearing that, can we expect new firmware for the FP and FPL line?
Right now we don't have the plan for that firmware update, but I would appreciate if you could some request or wish list for the firmware update. We'd like to know the customers' demand.
Now, the response I got from Mr. Yamaki was that there's no current plans for a firmware update for the FP or FPL. But something that was really positive is he asked the question of what would we like to see to come to the FP? And so that's kind of what I want to answer with this video. I want to give the things I would like to see from the FP line in a future firmware update, but I really want this to be a discussion, and so please let me know in the comments below what you would like to see from a future firmware update, and who knows, maybe I'll take some of those comments and give them to my Sigma rep, and maybe something will come of it. So again, let me know in the comments below what you would like to see. I'm going to start with one of the first things I would like to see, which is 4K DCI. Now, 4K DCI is something that is available with the FP line, but only over the HDMI RAW feed. I would love for this to be an option in camera. Now, there may be a hardware limitation and it may be a limitation around Cinema DNG, I'm not sure, but I would love to see 4K DCI in camera or even to an SSD. Now, the next thing I would like to see in a future firmware update is a 10-bit option in the color modes. Now, I love the Sigma built-in color modes. I don't necessarily want a log profile because there may be some logistics around why they can't put log in the current lineup of cameras, but I would love for a 10-bit option in the current color modes, even if there's no log, simply because I may want to push the colors a little bit and avoid banding. And so a 10-bit option, again, I don't know if it's a limitation, but even over SSD, a 10-bit option in the current all-I or all-intra codec would be something that I would love to see. Now, the next thing I would like to see is kind of a small detail, but I think it would be really cool, is the ability to add grain in camera. With the Sigma FP, I've really started using the built-in colors and the color modes that I just mentioned that I would like to see a 10-bit option of. I've really started using those built-in colors and kind of toying around with them. And so I'd really like the ability to add grain in camera to give you that more film simulation feel. Another thing I would like to see from a possible future firmware update is the ability to utilize EL Zone while recording. EL Zone is an amazing tool to judge exposure, and I find that the only downside for me with the EL Zone implementation with the FP is I can't use it while recording, because again, exposure does change while you're recording, and so being able to use it while recording would just be game changer. The next thing is one of those small things as well, which is a red record frame indicator. This is something that I love about my Lumix cameras, is the ability to have a frame indicator where it basically outlines your frame in a red bar to give you an over exaggeration indication that you are recording. It just makes life and filming a lot easier when you can tell that you are indeed filming what you think you're filming. And so that would be something that's nice in a future firmware update. Now, those are some quick items from me that I would like to see from a possible future firmware update. Now, obviously there are things that I omitted from this list, things like OpenGate, 4K 60, 4K 120. I don't really need those things or want those things, and so that's why they're not on my list personally. And I do feel like there is some hardware limitation for those things. But again, that being said, let's open this up for discussion. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think, or even reach out to me on Instagram and we can start a conversation there. As always, thank you for joining. Go and find your journey. Go embrace life. Peace.